Another major, number two, way of knowing that you've got a critical voice problem, oh my, you know, is when you think writing is hard. Seriously? Writing is hard? No, but in school, we were all taught that those magical people who wrote books were struggled and made it really, really difficult, and every book they worked over was just difficult. I mean, what a joke. You know, Hemingway got the Pulitzer Prize for Old Man and the Sea, and he wrote it in 37 days because his editor was camped in his living room waiting for it because he was late on a magazine deadline. That's writing. That's art. You know, you do the best you can. It's not hard. I'm sorry. Writing is not hard. Sitting down at a computer and making crap up is not hard. It's just not. But if you've now got the belief system that, oh, writing, it must be hard and it must be struggled over to be art, you're going to take all originality out of it. You're going to take it all out. That is the number two key. The number two key to stopping originality is you've turned it into this special thing. And I talked about the last one, the third one. The third is when you make a book a big deal or a story a big deal. Oh, that's just deadly. Deadly to originality. Deadly to anything. What has to flow is what Chris calls the 2-year-old. Back here, when we learned how to read and take in story and everything, this part back here is a 2-year-old. This part up here is however old you are and has got all the rules and, you know, and societal rules and, oh, you've got to wear clothes out in public. But a 2-year-old, they'll walk out and take the clothes off and run down the street. You know, they don't care. They're just being a 2-year-old. Well, Chris and I both believe that fiction writers need to be 2-year-olds. Maybe not out in public, but with your writing, because that's where the originality is. Have fun. Well, a 2-year-old doesn't think anything's hard. They just get in there and go, ooh, got to figure this out. And so if you get a chance, go watch some 2-year-olds. You know, watch with their and then give them back to their parents. Let their parents take them home and deal with all the other problems. But watch 2-year-olds or 2.5-year-olds or 3-year-olds where they're starting to really challenge and they're starting to say no and they're starting to, you know, they're challenging things. That's what you have to be as a writer. You've got to let that back here, that 2-year-old out to play. Let's go play. Because originality comes out of that play. Let's go have some fun. Let's make stuff up and have fun and color outside the lines, and I don't care anymore. That's original. That's original. Okay? And so this is going to be very difficult for some people because it's just like, oh, no, I can't let that out. Oh, no. And writing must be hard because I was taught in school that people who wrote novels, they really worked, you know, years and years, which is the myth. Okay, you've bought into the myth. I bought into it. All of us bought into it. We had no other choice. It was societal. It was societal. We all bought into it. But as fiction writers, guys, no. Let the 2-year out. Let it play. Go have fun. So, the 3 things here that I've covered sort of tangentially in weird ways, kind of like a 3-year-old, is it must be perfect. That's a killer. That's a killer. Oh, that's just the deadliest thing on the planet. Because when you start thinking that everything's got to be perfect, that's when you think, oh, I better rewrite that again. Oh, I better rewrite that again. Oh, I better rewrite that again. And instead of going forward into something that's new and fun, you're dredging through crap that's now become more and more crap. You're just mixing up stuff. Number 2, writing is hard. No, it's not. Go dig ditches for a while. You want to know what hard is for a job. Most people, I was no exception. I had jobs when I started this. I had day jobs. I had to pay bills and everything else. Most people, when they start writing, do it for enjoyment. Oh my. Well, as the farther you get on, well, why would you go do something for enjoyment and then sit down at the computer and make it hard? No, sit down at the computer and let the 2-year-old out. Go play. And then the third thing is writing's a big deal. No. Novels are not a big deal. Stories are not a big deal. Writing's not a big deal. Just have fun. Go play. It's why I always tell people to go have fun. Go have fun. I'm constantly saying that. I sign letters, have fun, or cheers. Go have fun. And I have fun teaching these workshops, to be honest with you, because I'm constantly learning, and I love learning. And you guys are challenging me with questions and different things. So the key here is have fun. Don't make something special. And for God's sake, don't try to make it perfect. No thing is perfect. Just find a way for you that works for you to get over these things. Now, with one last little thing out of the past here, Algis Budrys was one of the great teachers. I was lucky to be one of his students, very lucky over the years. He wrote some classics in science fiction, and it was a good friend over the years. And one of the things, we were in a workshop together, and I was one of the pros, and he was one of the pros, although I was, considerably younger than AJ, who's not with us anymore. And this guy had turned in this manuscript, and it was awful. It was horrid. I mean, there was not a redeeming factor in the manuscript. And I kind of hemmed and hawed and said, I think I'd start over on this idea, whatever the idea was, because I couldn't figure out the idea. And I said I'd throw this manuscript away and just kind of start over. And I think there's probably a story in here somewhere. I was trying to be nice, something like that. And so it got to AJ. AJ looked at the manuscript, and he looked at the guy, and he said, yeah, you know what I think? I think this needs to be a novel. Oh, the guy was ecstatic. Oh, he left the worm. Off he went, And I turned to AJ and I said, why did you tell him to do that? And he said, the guy wasn't listening to you guys. There were three other pros. And we were all kind of looking at AJ with this stunned look on our face. He said he was so buried in this piece of art that he thought he had written that he wasn't hearing you guys. He thought this was perfect. And he said, so when someone thinks that, he said the best way to make them happy is tell them to turn it into a novel. And I said, seriously? And he said, yeah. When someone has a pile of shit, tell them to make it a bigger pile of shit, and they go away happy. Truth. Don't ever get locked into anything. Keep above stories. Get down in, do the best you can, and then release. And go to the next story. The next story is where the fun is. Always, the next story is where the fun is. After getting a story done, doing the best you can, that's the best you can do. And whether you do that in one draft or cycling or 5 drafts, whatever. Okay. Your assignment this week, and it is your assignment, and what I would like is below is Heinlein's rules. It's going to take some time, and there is an assignment attached to Heinlein's rules below. Have fun. Hope somebody in this workshop isn't mad at me. Probably most people are already. Moving on.